Ladies and gentlemen, it is official. Season 3 Reloaded is officially here for Black Ops Cold War, for Warzone, and everything in between. And with it, we have some pretty crazy stuff. So first things first, if you want to check out the Black Ops Cold War stuff, I uploaded a video yesterday with all of the details of what is changing there. This video is going to be all about the Warzone update, and it is a big one. We have new POIs on the map, new areas that you can go and explore. We have a new event, we have new operators, we have weapon changes, we have gameplay changes. So in other words, a whole bunch of stuff to talk about. And with it, it's going to be interesting to see where the rest of season 3 actually goes, but I think the best place to start is with the new playlists and the new map changes. So the first thing you're going to notice when you hop into game is, first of all, the background has been updated. There's explosions everywhere, and this is to go with the 80s Action Heroes event. Speaking of which, as you can see here, we have 18 different challenges, 9 for Black Ops Cold War, and then 9 for Warzone. Upon completing each of them, you get a different weapon blueprint, and they are relatively easy, I would say. But an example of this is for Hostile Takeover in Warzone, complete any one of the 3 side missions at Nakatomi Tower, which is interesting because I don't know what those side missions are yet. Maybe I'll make a video later today going over those, but it's interesting to see that there's side missions, one of which that I have found is the Vault, which we'll go a little bit into in a second. Now, having a look at the playlist, first of all, we have normal battle royale, your quads, your trios, your duos, your solos, but we also have a new mode called Power Grab. Now, Power Grab essentially revolves around dog tags. If you kill someone, you get a dog tag, you can get them out of chests, and the more dog tags you get, the better rewards you get, which can include things like respawn tokens. At the end of the game, there's a zone that you have to capture, and if you do so, you win the game, essentially forcing everyone to the middle of that final zone for one big battle. Pretty straightforward. After this, we have Rebirth, Resurgence, Trios, and they did update the Rebirth map with a new, sunny, really easy to see people version of the map, which is interesting to see after we saw kind of the nighttime one at the beginning of season 3 there. And then finally, we also have Plunder Quads. Now, another new thing that was added was the ballistic knife to the game. This is your normal ballistic knife, but now you can use it in Warzone if you've unlocked it, which the challenge for it is get a one-shot kill and a melee kill medal in the same match, which is kind of difficult to do within Warzone. If you're going to do it in Warzone, I definitely recommend Plunder. We also have a new pistol coming out in the coming weeks called the AMP-63. We don't know which week. It may be next week, maybe in a couple weeks, but it is going to be coming to the game relatively soon. We also have a new kill streak which can be gotten in game, and this is the combat bow, very similar to what we see in Black Ops Cold War. So then we have our store items, which are the 2 big bundles, the Die Hard bundle and the Rambo bundle. As you can see here, they are only available for 29 days, so I guess get them while you can if you are. Now, as far as what's in these bundles, first of all, in the Die Hard bundle, you get John McClean, and honestly, looking pretty dope. I still can't believe that they've added them into the game. On top of this, you get 3 different weapon blueprints. The Plaza Security, which as you can see is an assault rifle. We have the MP5, which is the Shattered Plans. And then finally, we have the Hostage Situation, which is an AUG variant. One other cool thing is we get a really cool finishing move, which is called the Hidden Gun. Now, on top of this, you get McClean's watch, a charm, emblem, one of my favorite calling cards that has been added to date, and an hour of double XP. Now, the second bundle that we have is Rambo. In this bundle, we of course get the Rambo skin, again, looking pretty awesome. On top of this, we have the Rambo Classic, which is the light machine gun, and the Bloodstained, which as you can see is an assault rifle. After this, you also get a melee weapon, which is Rambo's knife. If you've seen the movies, you know what that's all about, and 2 different finishing moves. The first one is called Leap Shot, a pretty dope finishing move, and then we also have Combat Kill as well. And then after this, we have the Rambo watch, emblem, and finally calling card. Honestly, some of the coolest bundles I think we've ever seen in a Call of Duty game. So the next thing of Warzone is the new locations, and the biggest one, and literally I mean the biggest one, is Nakatomi Tower. This is one of the biggest locations that have ever been added into Warzone, and when I say that, I don't say that lightly. When you go to this, first of all, it is the biggest area in downtown by a long shot, and it is so detailed, which is what blows my mind. There's an area where you can go inside at the base floor, you can go in on the roof, there is several different rooms, offices, elevators that you can go in, and when I say elevators, it's literally something that you have to wait for get on and it will take you up the elevators, and then there's duct work. It's an insane area. And another cool thing about this is that there are 3 mini side missions, as they call them, essentially 3 different Easter eggs at the tower, one of which is opening up the vault, which I still don't know how to do at this point, but I may have a video coming out either later today or tomorrow going over all of these little side missions. Now, speaking of this, another location that we have is called the CIA headquarters. Now, they said that it was in the northwest in an aircraft hangar. However, it isn't really. It's at Mill Base, which is kind of more northeasty. And when you go here, you'll see that they've set up a bunch of monitors, and there's a map that you can interact with that will call in a bombardment, and then it will reveal different locations around the maps. Now, the locations that it reveals are essentially what are called survival camps. There are several locations around the map, and if you go here, you'll notice that there's kind of like these new small little buildings or huts that you can go inside, get some loot. Nothing really crazy or anything, just small little additions to the map, which you'll love to see. So to my surprise, one of the things that actually happened with this update is a bit of weapon balancing, and some of them are pretty interesting and may change up the meta a little bit. The first one that we have is the AK-74U, the SMG. This one got a neck multiplier increase from 1 to 1.4 to, I guess, match its headshot multiplier. On top of that, the sprint to fire speed was increased by 20%. The bullet velocity decreased by 15%, so a nerf there, and maximum damage range increased by 25%. So overall, a big buff. They are definitely trying to make this a viable weapon up close, and this might actually do so. That sprint to fire speed is a pretty big deal. The second weapon we have here is the PPSH-41, and with this one, we have a maximum damage increase from 27 to 28 damage, as well as a maximum damage range increase of a small amount of only 3.8%. Again, they're trying to make this a viable weapon, once again trying to make a really dynamic short-range meta. Moving over to sniper rifles, this is one that's interesting because they're very clearly trying to change this up as well. First of all, what they did is they've adjusted all of the base sniper optics for the Black Ops Cold War snipers. It doesn't say what they did to them, it just says that they adjusted them. After this, the M82 got a bullet velocity increase of 14%, an extremity multiplier from 0.9 to 1, so just the normal body damage, and a rate of fire decrease from 0.33 to 0.83, so a big decrease there, so you shoot it much slower. The Tundra simply got an aiming stability increase, so this is probably just less idle sway. The Swiss K31 got a flinch resistance greatly increased, ADS speed increased slightly, and finally aiming stability increased as well. The final sniper rifle was the ZRG 20mm. This one has a lot of things changed. So first of all, bullet penetration increased, upper torso multiplier increased from 1.25 to 1.7. That's a really big deal. The lower torso multiplier increased from 1.15 to 1.25. The extremity multiplier is now up to 1, so your normal damage. On top of this, ADS speed decreased by 4%, bullet velocity decreased by 2%, move speed decreased by 2%, and ADS move speed decreased by 1%. Essentially, what they want this to do is make it hit like a truck, but at the same time make it very difficult and somewhat annoying to actually use, which is going to be interesting to see how that fits into the meta. After this, we have attachment changes, and I'm not going to read through all of these, but there is one that I wanted to read, and that is suppressors. Suppressors no longer reduce bullet velocity. In fact, now they increase bullet velocity, they increase aim down sight speed, and they increase sprint to fire speed as well. That is a huge change. Also, some other changes here to attachments as well. Not going to read through them all. You can pause the video here and have a look at them if you really want to. So another couple gameplay changes, the first of which is a big one. Stopping power, the field upgrade, the spawn rates have been reduced substantially across all modes, which is great. There was way too much stopping power in my opinion, so I'm glad to see that happen. I'm interested to see how often it can be found now. The other thing and the final thing is they said very secretively, we will also be making an important adjustment to solo BR modes in the very near future. Keep an eye out on Twitter for more. So I don't exactly know what that is. I don't know if they're kind of switching it to a buyback mode or what exactly they're doing, but something is going to be happening on that front as well. Now, the final thing that we have in this update is something called Gunsmith Custom. So essentially what this is if you go into your gunsmith and have a look at some of the attachments that you're using, you're going to very quickly realize that a couple of them have some numbers beside them. And if you go to it, it'll actually change what that attachment actually looks like. So even if you're not using the full blueprint for a weapon, you can go in, for example, and choose between different types of that individual attachment, which makes your weapons look exactly like you want them and gives a little bit more to your blueprints within game. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the Season 3 Reloaded update for Warzone. We've went over Black Ops Cold War. We've gone over Warzone. Now I want to hear what you guys think. So let me know what you think down in the comments. If you're new to the channel, like what you see, want to stay up to date, make sure you subscribe, have notifications on, hit that like button if you enjoyed. And as always, thank you so much for watching. And until next time, peace out.